This is interesting. Oh, sorry, I was distracted a bit. To be honest, before I started to play Fear Effect, I had no clue what I was going to play, what can I expect from it. All I knew that this is a very good game. But what I got was a mix of action, frustration, fun, and scenes what I not expected at all. Like this here. What would you do in this situation? Well, let's drop the towel. I don't know about you, but I never played a game where I can defeat an enemy this way. So, we have this fantastic PS1 game that is a mixture of cyberpunk, horror and literally non-stop action. But, here's the catch. It is also brutally difficult. And when I say difficult, I really mean it. You will die. A lot. And you will be frustrated and will rage quit, I guarantee it. I think I know what you are thinking right now. Why the hell am I playing this game if it's so relentless? Because it is still fun to play. Let me show you. Hello my fellow gamers out there. My name is Mr. Zosta. Welcome on my channel where we celebrate the golden era of gaming. Released in 2000 by Kronos Digital Entertainment and published by Eidos, Fear Effect was a unique mix of action and survival horror. It stood out with its cel-shaded graphics, blending traditional animation with 3D environments, creating a visual style which was not seen before on the PlayStation. Set in a cyberpunk-inspired world, Fear Effect follows three mercenaries, Hannah, Glass and Deke, who take on a high-stake mission to track down the missing daughter of a powerful Chinese businessman. What starts as a routine job for money quickly spirals into a dangerous mission filled with twists. For me, the story started a bit generic. It needed some time to really open up to get interesting. Throughout the game, I had to say I enjoyed the story, and it had a few really surprising moments when I said "what the fuck" out loud. Overall, for an action game, the story is quite good. At its core, Fear Effect plays like a mix of survival horror and action adventure. You are constantly switching between gunfights, puzzle solving and exploration. You can expect about 90% of action, 5% puzzle solving and 5% exploration. When I started to play the game, I noticed that instead of static backgrounds, like we see in similar games in that era, Fear Effect uses full motion video backgrounds which are constantly animated. First, I didn't really like this as the resolution was worse than a static image, but with time I realized why this is cool. There were constant animations on the screen which made the environment much more alive. Also, it gave cool options to the developers gameplay wise. Like here, when you have to move through this path where the flames are keep popping up. The game uses tank controls similar to Resident Evil, which is risky for a heavy action game. If you remember how aiming could be a pain in old school games like Resident Evil when you were aiming at an enemy and you just shot the background instead. If the developers would use this method, the game would be a failure. There is no way that you can enjoy the game if there is no indication if your aiming is correct. But the developers probably knew this, and they made a very wise decision to make a crosshair icon appear on the top of the screen when you are aiming at the right direction. What is even better, that if you are holding two guns and there are multiple enemies in the room, the character will shoot multiple enemies at the same time. Very well done. Somehow I was not satisfied with the control scheme of the game. You could choose between quite few control layouts, but it took me a lot of time to get used to the item selection and how to use them. I'm well used to play games with a controller, but here somehow it just not clicked for me. There are quite few puzzles in the game, which I don't mind, but I mind puzzles which does not make sense and you have no clues how to solve them. To be fair, there were puzzles in the game which was fine and made sense and it was fun to solve, like when you had to defuse a bomb jacket or an electric wire and fuse system. But with some of the puzzles I was clueless, as I could not find any reference how to even start solving them, and I had to refer to a walkthrough. And now let's talk about the difficulty. It is brutal. This game does not hold your hand, instead it grabs it and jerks it around. You will die constantly. From enemies, from puzzles, from just taking a wrong fucking step. Let me show you which screen you will see the most. This. Game over, game over, game over, game over, game over, game over. I've seen this screen so many times that it burned into my retinas. And you know what? The developers are made multiple game over screens which are related to the areas where you are currently playing. So they knew that you are going to see that game over screen so many times that they made it less boring. What the hell? But why the game is difficult? Health and ammo wise I was mostly fine throughout the game, but somehow I still kept dying. You can say that I was shit playing it, but no, I'm not. There were quite a few situations where you had to figure out how you are going to move through an area without someone notice you, or you must walk through a glass covered roof without falling in. But here's my favorite. I was rage quitted here so hard that I was nearly giving up playing this game. But this is the thing, that the game is good and you just want to keep playing despite it is frustrating. So here's the deal. You must escape from these guys on this balcony. I tried to fight them but did not work. I figured it out that I had to jump on the helicopter to escape, but the problem is that it doesn't matter how many times I ran to the end of the balcony and kept pressing the button which would use the helicopter, but nothing happened and I kept dying. It was so frustrating that I constantly kept saying, what the fuck am I supposed to do? And you know what? The exact same fucking thing that I did. It was just pure luck, or I don't know, that it worked, and finally I was able to get on the helicopter and fly away. It is still making me angry as I'm just talking about it now. Do you know what saved my sanity during my gameplay? The quite often placed save points, which was very handy as I did not have to start over from way back when I died. If the save points would be placed far away from each other, I probably wouldn't finish the game. I got a feeling that developers were aware of this too. And now, let's see what I enjoyed in this game. I said that the difficulty and frustration is sky high in the game, but also it has a balance where despite this it is constantly delivering fun gameplay and an interesting story. I found this balance overall a good thing, despite my, let's say, difficult times throughout my gameplay. Also, the atmosphere, the story and the cutscenes are also very good. I really enjoyed that I had multiple jaw-dropping moments when something unexpected happened. The combat is fun and satisfying. Holding the machine gun and gunning down enemies is cool, especially that the aiming is well done. And what are those things that I did not really enjoy? I'm going to start with the difficulty and the frustration again. It is really depending on your personal tolerance level. Some people would be fine with this level of difficulty, but someone will have a bad time. The best way to experience is to try it for yourself and see how the game clicks with you. Those puzzles which were difficult for the reason that I had no clear information what I should do was also frustrating. And you don't have an in-game map. I just want to mention this despite it is not caused any issues for me, but there were situations when the map would be handy. Generally the areas which we explore are not huge and not too complex, but still a map would be useful. So, is Fear Effect worth playing today? Absolutely. Despite my frustrations with the game and what I mentioned, I had a great time with it, and I encourage you to try it if you have not played it yet. Yes, it will test your patience, but it's also one of the most unique experiences on the PS1 had to offer. Just be ready to see that game over screen a lot. And I'm going to play the second game to see what it has to offer, how it's improved over the first one. And what do you think? Have you played Fear Effect before? Or is it the one which you missed out on? Let me know in the comments. If retro gaming brings back great memories for you, why not subscribe and join our community of fans keeping the classics alive? Also, the YouTube algorithm thinks you love the videos on the screen, so go ahead and check them out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next McLoquest video.